Good morning and happy Sunday to you all. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Motivational Moments with your girl, Jay London Speaks. I hope you all are having a beautiful morning. I hope you guys had a great week. My week it was a little different, but the only thing that matters is that I made it. Yes, I made it. Sometimes we have those weeks where things are just a little different. It may not be the norm, but the key thing is, long as you make it through. Well, let's get into it, you guys. Today, I really want to motivate and really encourage you into this thought process as we have been speaking since the year at the top of the year started. There is so much more that's in store. There is so much more that's within you. There is so much more that God has for us. And with that, so much more, there are some things that we have to do different. There were some things that we have to do different. I had a moment where I was praying to God, and I was praying to God about, some business endeavors, different things and projects that I was working on. And I just found myself kind of like in a place where it just seems like, I was kind of stuck. I'm like at this one place that I'm like, what's going on? Like, I can't break through this particular ceiling. And as I begin to pray and ask God to help me to see what I'm not seeing, God began to show me and allow me to see that I was actually still doing the same thing that was getting me the same results. Then I went to a story that I want to share with you guys on this Sunday morning. I went to a story and I was reading a story about Elizabeth and her husband, where they didn't have any children, and it came a season and a point in their lives. It was at the appointed time. Okay, let me say that. Let me put that out there. It was at the appointed time. Can I just encourage somebody really quickly with this? Oftentimes we are at a place in life where we think that we should have accomplished this, we should have did this at a certain point in our lives, because sometimes society puts pressure on us, right, to make us feel like that it's at this age, right? It's at this moment. It's where all these things and certain things supposed to manifest and happen in our lives. But sometimes, right, God does something different. Sometimes God does something different. And when God does something different, and it's not in the timetable or in the moments where other people think it should be, but it's at the appointed time, I just want to encourage somebody on this Sunday morning that it's going to be at the appointed time. And at the appointed time, it's going to be the time that God has ordained it to happen in your life. So I just begin to just, be led to read this particular story that really blessed me to move from a place of being stuck, being in a place of just repeating the same response, in business. And as I was reading this particular story, with Elizabeth and her husband, they came to a point in their lives where she became pregnant. And when she became pregnant, and she began to now bring forth, she shut herself in for a season of time. And that's one of the things I really want to help us to understand, that even in the places where there's more for you, when it's at a time in your life where you need to do something different, you're looking for a different outcome, you're looking for some things to not be like it was. Sometimes you have to take a moment, right, where you have to bring yourself in. What does that mean? Maybe bring yourself into a solitude time. Bring yourself into a place where you are with yourself, and you're with your dreams. You're with the things that you desire to do, the things that God has given you to do. Sometimes, you guys, we got to bring ourselves into a quiet place. The story says that Elizabeth, for about a good 5 months, she shut herself in, right? Because of what she was carrying, because of what she was going to bring forth. Sometimes, guys, what it is that we desire to do, we have to be able to have that time where we can bring ourselves in, to give ourselves the solitude, the rest, the quietness, the stillness, to be able to really understand understand what we are carrying, what we got to do, right? What it is that's going to come forth, because we want to make sure that and what we bring forth, that it come forth in the full potential and the purpose that it has been intended to do. The story goes on, right, to says that it came upon a time that when Elizabeth did get ready to bring forth, right, she was surrounded around her family. She was surrounded around the people that she knew, and they began to ask her, well, Elizabeth, what are you going to name this child? And Elizabeth, she began to tell them that his name shall be John. And they begin to question her. See, whenever you're getting ready to do something different, people that are surrounding you, people that know you, right? Sometimes people that are connected to you, they will question what it is that you're getting ready to do. But that's why that quietness and that stillness and that solitude is so important. Let me tell you why. It's because it was that time of solitude, right, was where she gained her strength. It was in that secret, quiet time that she had is where she gained her strength. Can I encourage you on this Sunday that as you are getting ready to move into something different, do something different, move into getting the more, birthing out the more, operating in the more. It's going to be so important that in that secret time, that quiet time, it is going to be so important that you have that moment, you have that time, because that's where your strength is. And why? Why is that strength so important? Because that strength that Elizabeth needed, it was a strength to be able to stand in confidence, right? To tell people that knew her, to tell people that she was used to, that the baby that I'm having, his name is going to be John. See, quietness and stillness will give you a strength to stand up against, right? When people are coming and asking you questions, that you're not moved, you don't deter, you don't go no other kind of way, because you know for sure that this is the name and there's a purpose and the reason of why you're doing something different. So they said, well, let's go get the father and let's see what the father got to say about this. So they goes over to Zechariah. They begin to ask him, well, listen, what are we going to name the son? What are we going to name your son? And now, because he had a moment where he was shut up, and his shut up was because there was a level of doubt that he was dealing with. He said, he needed a piece of paper so he can write down what the name was going to be. And he wrote down on the paper that his name shall be John. Can I just tell somebody this too on this day, that it is important that the thing that you're going to do different, right? The time and the moment where you have been called to do something different, you have to write it down. Woo, come on. You have to write down what it's going to be. And he began to write down what the name is going. In other words, he came into an agreement and into an alignment with his wife, right? Because they knew that that baby that they was having was a baby of purpose. That baby, well, what they brought forth was getting ready to do something that they never seen in their family before. That baby that they had was getting ready to make some major moves that was not just going to be about the family, but it was going to be about the beneficiary and the blessings of other people's lives. See, doing something different is never just about you. When you are moving into a place where you are doing something different, it's going to be a blessing unto others, unto other people. Other people's lives are going to be blessed by what it is that you have been called to do. I want to really encourage you on this morning, on this Sunday, that it is time for you to do something different. Maybe you are starting a business. Maybe you are writing a book. Maybe you're getting ready to do something, right, that requires a lot of your time. I want you to take the time out to put yourself in a quiet place, because that quiet place is your place of strength. And I want you to come into a place of an agreement and an alignment to everything that you gain while you're in that place, so that when you get ready to put your foot on the gas and move forward, you are doing it with a strength that makes you unstoppable. Yes, come on, somebody. I want you to be encouraged that you got to do something different so that you can get a different result. Come on. It's time to move into that unstoppable strength, but you got to be willing to lay down what you was used to doing. You got to be willing to not be afraid, right? To let people see you do what has never been done before. I just want somebody to be encouraged, right? That even as we are coming to almost the end of this motivational moment, I really want you to understand this, that your next breakthrough, right, is in something different.